In the pizza example, we used Cloud Functions to do fulfillment and store pizza orders into a database. The other option is to create a webhook. A webhook is a web server endpoint that you create and host, which can be a backend for your Dialogflow agent. While you could create a working agent completely through the Dialogflow console, writing some code in a webhook will give you additional options and customization capabilities. For the HR chatbot example, we will use a webhook that is written in Python. For production, you will want your webhook to always be on and ideally able to scale up if your chatbot is popular. You also want your webhook to be available via HTTPS to protect your data and credentials in transit. So let's take a look at some serverless scalable options. App Engine is a great place to deploy your webhook code, which provides a scalable and secure, always-on presence for our webhook. App Engine is Google's fully managed serverless platform as a service product that allows you to build highly scalable applications. The underlying infrastructure is taken care of for you. With support for multiple programming languages, App Engine enables developers to focus on developing their applications without needing to worry about infrastructure concerns. One great feature of App Engine is that you can quickly build and deploy applications using popular languages, including Java, PHP, Node.js, Python, C#, .NET, Ruby, and Go, and frameworks including Django, Flask, and Spring. You can also bring your own language runtime and frameworks in a custom environment. App Engine provides many services and APIs, such as Memcache, Logging API, Users API for authentication, asynchronous task queues, and more. You can easily connect your application to Cloud Data Store, our NoSQL database, Cloud SQL, or cloud storage for object storage such as images and even code files. App Engine also handles scaling and load balancing, and allowing you to auto-scale and load balance between different instances of your application. There is also easy app versioning, which can enable A/B testing and traffic splitting. You can deploy your webhook to App Engine by running the gcloud app deploy command. App Engine will find your app.yaml file for your service, read any additional parameters you set, such as version number, runtime, and service name, and deploy your application. To run your app locally before pushing it to production, you can run the dev appserver.py command to test your Python app from Cloud Shell. Besides code, your webhook will typically need to interact with a database to store data into or read data from. Cloud Data Store is a natural database choice when using App Engine. Do take note, though, that Data Store does not store the webhook code, but it can store the data that the code is supposed to retrieve or persist. Both App Engine and Cloud Data Store, which you will use later in the hands-on labs, are serverless. Another option to host your Dialogflow webhook code is Cloud Functions, another serverless offering from Google Cloud. In an earlier module, we talked about how you can create your fulfillment flow by writing code in Cloud Functions within the Dialogflow console using the inline editor. In our HR chatbot example, the webhook is called by the Dialogflow agent's fulfillment component to get answers from Data Store once a topic entity is matched. The webhook code uses information from the HTTP POST request sent by your agent to look up the keyword and match it with the topic entity in Cloud Data Store. The webhook will then return a response back to the user, which contains the definition of the keyword passed in the request. Let's take a quick look at the webhook code. The getSynonym method uses Google's NDB Data Store library to allow your App Engine Python application to connect to Cloud Data Store. This will generate synonyms for the topic keywords in the HR manual and store them as a new synonym entity in Data Store. This method, getActionText, also uses the NDB library to query your Data Store entities for the topic parameter in order to look up the definition of the keyword. This part of the code shows how the action text stored in Data Store, whether it is the topic or the synonym, is mapped into Python classes for topic and synonym, respectively. You query the ancestor key to maintain the entity's root parent in the Data Store hierarchy. Next, you will deploy a new service for the webhook backend in App Engine. We will leave the default service to point to the custom UI that we will build in the next section. After you deploy, App Engine creates a new separate service called Dialogflow that points to your webhook backend.